I never felt enough as a young girl. I would look at the pretty girls in 17 magazine with their thin legs and perfect noses, and then I would look in the mirror and wonder, why was I born so ugly? The first time somebody called me pretty, I thought they were making fun of me. If I couldn't be a pretty girl, then I vowed to have a pretty heart and to try to be special so I could stand myself, and perhaps others would see who I really was.
What are you doing? Is that your favorite thing to eat? What are you eating? I picked up these pots that I really liked for the front of my house because they sort of match my tin roof. Well, I asked you if you wanted to come along. You didn't answer me, so now I'm just leaving. What do you want to do? Do you want to come along? Desi, do you want to come along? I guess so. Okay. Hey everybody, thank you so much for coming back and seeing me and Desi. I hope you had a good week, and I hope you're going to have a very fun but meaningful weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend, and that's when we honor those that have lost their life serving our country. And if you're a veteran, if you're married to a veteran, if you have anything to do with a veteran, please thank you for your service. Thank them for their service. I have to find some way this weekend to make it a very special Memorial Day. So, what I want to do today is a few things. In 10 years, I have never done a follow-up video on the video I did the week before, but I have to do that this week. I want to talk about what so many of you wrote in the comments about our weight and how we feel, whether we're confident, how we feel if we're good enough. And I want to talk about that. I also want to answer a few of your questions on the dark chocolate therapy that I'm on for losing weight. And I just want to address some of the comments about you asking me how I kind of gave a mixed message last week. In other words, I was saying that it's wonderful to want to look our best, to lose weight and look like we're in shape. But on the other hand, I talked about that's not the real meaning of who we are as a woman. And people won't remember how much we weighed, but they will remember how much we loved them. And there were a few of you that found those two sentiments not compatible. So I want to talk about that. I had fun in last week's video, and I shared with you now I've lost 14 pounds, and the way I've been doing it is I have been using dark chocolate therapy every day. I have been consuming about 200 calories of dark chocolate every afternoon, about 2 hours before I eat dinner. And studies have shown that the groups that ate at least 170 to 200 calories of dark chocolate a day lost a whole lot more weight than the group that was only eating about 100 calories per day. Now, 3 squares of dark chocolate is about 170 calories, and three squares for me It kills my appetite. It does everything I want it to do to help me lose weight. The second question you have is, why do we need the 90% or 95% cacao opposed to a bar that has like 70%? Well, that percentage is based on how much sugar is in the bar. So we obviously don't want a lot of sugar. So when we're getting 95% cacao or cocoa or however you want to say it, when we're getting 95% chocolate without the sugar, that's good for us. We don't want sugar. So that's why we want to shoot for that 95%. Some of you have to work up to that. I got quite a few questions about, is it safe for somebody at 70 years old to be consuming dark chocolate every day? And the number one answer I would give you, hands down, is talk to your doctor. I'm no doctor. I am not a nutritionist. I am losing more weight now than I ever have. And I want to share with you how I'm doing this. But make sure to talk to your doctor to make sure this is okay for you. One of the reasons that I fell in love with this dark chocolate diet was because, well, it's all the rage of people who are bodybuilders, because the flavonoids in dark chocolate, they help build muscle mass. They help with our blood flow to our brain that helps us cognitively sort of, be a little bit sharper, a little bit smarter, a little bit faster on the draw. I love that. And there's so many antioxidants in it. So it just goes on and on, all the benefits that I can enjoy from it. Being an older woman that has arthritis, I have osteoporosis. I'm very worried about my mass. So this is just a win-win-win situation for me. I'm thrilled with my results, but to be totally honest with you, it's not, a day at the beach with this diet. I mean, I don't want to paint this, overly rosy picture of how wonderful my life is here. What the dark chocolate is doing, it is suppressing my appetite, but sometimes it suppresses it so much that it kind of knocks me off center. I mean, I'm used to going through life looking at food and enjoying it. I'm thinking in the afternoon, well, I'm going to have a lovely dinner and that's what I'm going to eat. And all that is taken away. So, and I've heard this before of people who go on those weight loss drugs, that they feel like a little nauseated because their appetite is gone and they forget to eat. And that's what's happening to me, that my appetite is suppressed so much that I realize that I'm getting a headache because I forgot to eat. And we don't want that either. So a lot of the side effects that you get from weight loss drugs, I'm finding that I'm experiencing this with this dark chocolate. So I just want to throw that out there, that you have to be very careful. Because one of the things that happens as we get older is, well, with seniors, we get dehydrated and our nutrition sometimes isn't the best. So we have to work very, very hard to nourish our bodies with good, healthy food. And sometimes with our appetite, when it is so suppressed, we have to be very conscious. When was the last time I ate? It's time to eat. Lost another pound this week and I was so excited, and in the mail came the dress that I ordered to go to my son's rehearsal dinner for his wedding in August, and I tried it on and I'm about 6 pounds away from it really fitting the way it should. So it may be actually too big for me by August, but if I get time I want to put it on and show you what it looks like. purposely, I will just make an excuse and not go out because I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to feel that I'm not enough.
Okay, number one. What would it take for you to feel you are enough? I'll never feel like I'm enough. That's just the way I am.
I saw a video this week by Melissa55. If you don't know who Melissa is, I will link her channel below. But she was doing a tag, and I had done this tag a few months ago. These are questions a woman must ask herself on her birthday. And the first question was, what is it going to take for you to feel like you're enough? And here is Melissa, who is 69 and genuinely is so stunningly beautiful and looks 20 years younger than she actually is. And she honestly looked into the camera and says, I'm not confident and I don't feel I'm enough and I never will. So last week, I'm doing a video and I'm talking about how excited I am for my son's wedding. I want to get in shape. I want him to be proud of me. I want to look my best and I want to be like a size 8. But then I ended it. I ended the video with a story about how that didn't matter to me when it came to my mom. I showed you the wedding picture of me and my mom on my wedding day, and there she was, I don't know, 245 pounds, but you said you thought she was beautiful. And she was beautiful, and that touched my heart so much that you said that. You looked right past everything. And you said she's beautiful. And so some of you made the point, it's a conflicting message. How can you say losing weight matters so much and you want your family to look back on the wedding pictures and say, hey, grandma was in shape, and then turn around and say, you look at wedding pictures and you don't really see your mom's weight, you just see how much she loved you. How can you reconcile those two things? I can, and I do. Because my mother always keeps me in check when I go off the rails, when I let vanity drive the car. Hey, just for kicks, let's turn this car around and say I put on 75 pounds between now and August, and I show up at my son's wedding, right? And I weigh over 200 pounds. What do you think's going to happen? Do you think he's going to cut me out of all the wedding pictures? Do you think he's going to be angry with me? Do you think they're not going to allow me into the wedding? Do you think my grandchildren will look at me and say, Grandma, we used to love you, but now you're just too fat for us? That's ridiculous. That has nothing to do with anything. Do I want to look my best? Yes. For a lot of different reasons. Sometimes I think I care about my figure so much to make my mama proud, even though she's no longer with us. But another reason I care so much about my weight is the quality of my life as I get to be 75, 80, 85. I mean, tomorrow. I care about the quality of my life because the less weight I drag around, the better I can maneuver. The less weight I have on my frame, it's easier on my knees, it's easier on my hips. So my reason for losing weight and getting in shape is not so much vanity, but just it's the right thing to do for the quality of life that I so desire when I'm older. Sometimes I'm human. And sometimes I do look in the mirror and I do get angry or disgusted. I don't understand why it's so difficult to keep my figure at my current age. And all those feelings of when I was growing up and I was a chubby little girl until I got to high school, all those feelings of inadequacy come back. watching my mother suffer when she was overweight. It all comes back. So sometimes when I end the video with a story about my mom, it keeps me in check. It reminds me of what really is important. Nobody is going to care what I weigh at my son's wedding but me. And you know, when I talk about this, I think about all the women out there that click on a video that says, "Ooh, weight loss breakthrough over 60." And a lot of you out there are overweight and you don't feel like you're enough and that you've never been enough and you gave up dieting a long time ago because you've been beat down from being overweight. You've failed so many times to try to lose weight, you don't want to try anymore. Every day is a brand new day to change our lives. And when we want to change something about our life and we're doing it for the right reasons, everything falls into place and we become successful. So when you're losing weight and you're not doing it for Tom, Dick, and Harry over here, and you're not doing it to somehow make you feel that vanity has something to do with your self-worth. You know, in last week's video, I showed the pictures of Miss America, and the reason I did that is because that was this unrealistic ideal I had when I was a young girl growing up, that my self-worth was tied to my figure, my body, my sex appeal, my this, my that, all vanity. But when you let go of that, when you start losing weight for yourself, for your quality of life, things change. Oh, you mean I'm going to have a longer life and a better life if maybe I drop a little weight? Yeah, then it makes sense. Then the pressure is off. And we just become stronger as we go. So for those of you that might be watching this video saying, "No, I'm not doing that. I give up." All right. You gave up yesterday. How about tomorrow? How about tomorrow? Because you wouldn't be here if you didn't want to change. But just to be crystal clear, your self-worth has nothing to do with your dress size. It has everything to do with your happiness and the love that you give and the love you receive. That's forever. You got this.
Would I ever feel enough? At almost 70, I'm only unhappy when I let vanity define me. I never grew up to marry Paul McCartney, but I did grow up to write songs about life and love and experience a life well lived.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I just love it that you do that. And if you get a chance down below, maybe you could share if ever in your life as a woman or a man that you felt like you weren't quite enough. Please have yourself a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. And when you're done with your brand new week, you come back and see me and Desi, all right? All right, it's a deal. We'll be here.